Yes, indeed, my friends and fellow spiritual enthusiasts. Welcome to another edition of your favorite psychic podcast. This is our live stream podcast, as we call it, the Psychic Funhouse, coming to you from the Psychic Funhouse studios located in many, many places. And I am your co host. My name is Lawrence Birch, and I'm joined by my equally amazing and definitely much more attractive co host, Miss Adrienne Stratton. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. So glad you could.
Aw.
All right. Well, oh, looks like we lost Adrienne. Yeah, I'll just let you know that Adrienne is having some technical challenges tonight, so she may be popping in and out as the challenges are met and overcome or are overwhelming. But we're not going to let that stop us from having a show. So thank you, those of us who are here. Uh, we'll just manifest Adrian reappearing uh, and sticking with us momentarily. So tonight we're going to talk about developing your spiritual practice, or maybe starting one if you don't have one already established, and just some basic tips on how to get that going and what it feels like to have a practice and things of that nature. So that's going to be our discussion for the evening. And of course, if you're interested in getting a reading from either myself or Adrian, you're welcome to post your question. The more specific, the better, in the comment section, the chat section over on our YouTube page here, YouTube channel. So, before we get started, we always like to get going with announcements and let people know what's happening in our neck of the woods. Uh, so, excuse me, my contact information. I do readings, private readings. I also, there she is. She's returned. The return of the Raven Adrian. Oh, oh, in and out. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we've established video contact. Hopefully, audio contact will be forthcoming from you as well. I let the viewers know that you may be in and out a little bit due to some technical challenges you're having, Adrian. So we'll just bear with them as much as possible. Yay. So I was just,
Perfect.
yeah, I was just letting people know our topic of discussion tonight is going to be developing your spiritual practice. And I was getting into the announcements and contact information phase of the show before we get things really started. So I was finishing up. Um, People are interested in getting psychic reading, tarot reading, shamanic healing, or an herbal consultation, or any one of my many, many herbal products. You can contact me at 541-344-7534. My email is givingtree@earthlink.net, and my website is givingtreefarm.com. So, Adrian, do you have events coming up this week that you want to let people know about? And what's your contact info for people to get a hold of you after the show? Hmm.
Yeah. Hi, Lawrence.
Ooh, And she has disappeared. She has left this technological plane. Okay, well, hopefully she's going to come back. We'll see. We may have a little shorter show than usual based on what's we're experiencing tonight. So, um, all right. Well, until she pops back in, we'll just go ahead and continue with our programming. So, uh, well, let's talk about a spiritual practice. What is a spiritual practice? Maybe let's talk about what it isn't. It's always fun to define things by what they're not. That is an endless possibility. So, spiritual practice uh, is different from a religious practice. I would say there's some similarities, um, but a spiritual practice is a little bit more open ended and self defined, I would say, rather than um, coming to know a way of connecting with a higher power through a method that's already been kind of tried and tested and has maybe been around as a tradition for quite a long time. So that brings with it its own set of challenges, right? So, uh, it's nice to have kind of a menu laid out for you, uh, like uh, most organized religions do, in terms of how to go about practicing that religion. Without that, uh, preformed set of guidelines, it can feel a little bit overwhelming to figure out how you want to make your connections happen with spirit. So, uh, the first thing I think that you want to begin with when you're developing a spiritual practice is to kind of define what your understanding of spirit is. It may be something as specific as a deity, it may be something much more amorphous, uh, or something in between, or maybe a panoply of deities, depending on your practice. So, um, once you have an idea about where you're directing your energy, then the next thing, I guess, is to decide how you want to direct that energy. And of course, a couple of the easiest ways to begin doing that are through prayer and meditation. Some people have a bit of a challenge with prayer because it feels like it might be too religious for them, but you can make prayer happen without any kind of specific religion as a part of your process, if that's what you're interested in. You can also decide to borrow some of the traditions that work for you when it comes to prayer and adapt those to suit your needs. Uh, yeah, you can strip away things that don't serve your purpose or add things, allow your creativity to influence your process of prayer. The main thing is to be clear on what your intention is and what your connection is going to be. Some prayers are uh, better planned out, some are better spontaneous. Sometimes prayer shows up when you need it the most in a clutch situation, and sometimes prayer is what you come to on a regular basis in order to feel inspired and to maintain your connection. However, you do it, um, as long as you're authentic about it, I think that's one of the main ingredients. So maybe you're not so comfortable with prayer, and that's okay. Maybe meditation is more your thing. Meditation is a different way of making a connection. It's going within and finding the spirit within, you might say. And so, making time for meditation on a daily basis can help train your mind to be open to encounters with spirit and to be more aware and appreciative of things that happen on a spiritual level around you. Um, and there's a lot of different ways to meditate, which is really great. So there's no one right or wrong way to go about meditating as a part of your spiritual practice. One of the easiest ways to meditate is just to create an environment of silence and peace in your living space. And that will allow you to get centered, get grounded, find a position that's comfortable that you can hold for a period of time. Maybe it's on the floor with some cushions, maybe it's on a comfortable chair, closing your eyes down, and then just focusing on your breath. And that's pretty much where all meditation starts off from. It can get much more structured than that. You can throw a mantra or two into your process, a phrase or a saying that you appreciate. Hey, Adrian, you're back. Welcome back. Oh, no, there you go. How are we doing?
I'm not certain.
Yeah,
I apologize for the transmission issues here. I don't know what's going on with my.
yeah. Well, the viewers know that you're having some trouble, so I think they're going to be okay with you. Excuse me. Popping in and out if necessary. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just be persistent.
Okay.
If it continues, we might end the show a little bit early, uh, just to avoid you know too much confusion or frustration. But so far, I'll just give you a
Sure.
recap of where we've gone since we last were enjoying your presence.
Sure.
Um, I've launched into tonight's discussion about developing spiritual practice, and I was on kind of the second um, concept, which is developing a practice of prayer and or meditation as part of your spiritual practice. Um, the two are different, related. Some people find prayer to be a little bit off-putting because of its connection to more organized religion, but meditation is also a really nice way to connect spiritually. So we're just talking about different ways to meditate. So yeah. So do you find prayer and meditation to be a regular part of your spiritual practice, or what's your process with those activities?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Meditation is a very, very big part of my spiritual practice, my personal spiritual routine. It's how I oftentimes begin my day, but more than anything else, it's a process that I do that helps me open up and connect to the universe, to the angels, the angelic realm, to the guides. That's why I find it so important. And in the beginning, I used it as a means to relax, as a means to kind of calm myself, quiet my mind, and then it became a tool for doing those things as well as grounding, getting connected to Mother Earth, as well as later on, yeah, just a different realm. So, the meditation is huge. huge. It's a really important part for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think your journey with it mirrors a lot of people's experience with meditation. Uh, they come to it as a way of self improvement almost, and then when they stick with it over time, it can really transform into something that's deeply meaningful and spiritual way of connecting. So,
Absolutely. And it's something that I enjoy teaching as well. Various techniques, breathing techniques, and then, some guided imagery as well.
mm-hmm,
And I like to incorporate some drumming with that from time to time.
mm-hmm,
But it is a powerful tool. I've
mm-hmm.
used it to help introduce people to their spirit guides, and yeah,
Nice.
great tool,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
great step.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think the other, another aspect of developing a spiritual practice that can actually be related to meditation is to spend time in nature or with natural things.
Yeah,
Um, you know, Humanity is really great, and there are innumerable things about it that make it very appealing and attractive. But uh, everything derives from the natural world around us, and it's important to go to source and spend time in nature uh, so that you're not encumbered by all the busy mind things that are happening with your life in the human world. And spending time in nature can be as simple as taking a walk or just going somewhere and observing the wildlife, hugging a tree. Maybe if you're a city dweller, there's a park nearby, or even cultivating a plant that you have. Uh, you know, um, there's a
sure,
lot of yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. There's a lot of different ways to invite nature in your life, and I think most of us are experiencing nature deficit, and uh, there's a lot of pressures now on our natural environment that weren't there when we were growing up, that are really affecting uh, the viability of the flora and fauna around us. So anything we can do to bolster that and protect it, I think, is really can be a really cornerstone part of your spiritual practice as well.
Yeah. As you were talking, I was thinking about, connecting to the ocean
Mm,
and, whether it's, gosh, I know sometimes, I like to walk near the ocean or on the sand. And sometimes, for whatever reason, I may not have the ability to get out of the car and walk down to the shoreline. But even sometimes just sitting, even in the car with the windows rolled down, and just taking in the smell and the sounds, and that has been, pardon me, another way to connect. And then I don't know about you, Lawrence, but I really like to look at the stars and the
mm,
moon.
mm-hmm,
So whenever I, whenever the weather permits and it's clear enough, I like to go outside and look at the moon at nighttime.
mm-hmm,
Excuse me. Those were a couple of things that came to my mind as well as, and I'd be curious to see how many people experience that deep, like, connection to Mother Earth when they're horseback riding, because
Hmm.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real sense of getting grounded and well, it's many different things, but it's horseback riding for me is another way of connecting to nature and Mother Earth and the environment.
Yeah, yeah. Animals, I think, definitely are a great
Yeah.
entry point into connecting with spirit. They have their own
Excuse me.
intelligence. Some of them
Uh-huh.
have their own culture, their own way of relating, and indigenous cultures especially have maintained their connection to their animal kin, and are
Yeah.
really good sources to go to in non-appropriational, if that's a word, ways to learn more about making deeper connections to spirit through making connections with animals. So I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So much to draw on there. Yeah. Um, and that I think brings up another aspect of developing a spiritual practice, which is to give back, um, and that can come in different forms as well. A lot of religious traditions have this, and spiritual traditions as well, which is to um, make donations of objects, time, or money to different causes that you believe in. This can really, I think, help,
Yeah.
satisfy a really deep part of us that wants to give or give back. Um, Volunteering is probably one of the best ways to develop and support an attitude of gratitude. Uh, putting your time and energy into an activity or an event or a group that you believe in that is making a positive difference in other people's lives uh, is really an incredible investment in your spiritual practice, because it can um, create so many different pathways to spirit that range from the ones that you're aware of while you're doing it to ones that you may not even know are taking place. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So true. So
hmm
true.
hmm
Love
and
that.
you may
Kind of
yeah.
like
Hmm.
sorry.
No, you go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's you know, fulfilling in the sense that it's like connecting to something that's larger than yourself, and also that moves you to get out of yourself, so to speak. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think, a lot of us have, fairly busy schedules or lifestyles that are demanding a lot of our attention. So it can be difficult to commit to volunteering for, certain length of time or for different things. But, uh, if you're open to it, you can always find a way to participate in something, even if it's just a one-time only thing or just occasional. Um, there are tons and tons of different organizations that are just, you know, begging for people to come and help them manifest their mission. And, there's a lot of different ways that groups can fold you into their schedules and activities if you're not able to just, you know, be a regular participant in whatever it is they're doing. So I wouldn't shut that down if at first it seems like, oh, now, it's one more thing that it's on my list to do. Um, it could easily become the highlight of your week or your month or your year is to, join forces with, like you say, a group that helps you get outside of yourself and into something that's greater than just you
Yeah.
and your day to day. Um, so so branching off of that concept is the idea of doing a spiritual retreat of some kind, a focused time when you you get away from all the other responsibilities that you have to do, and you're able just to focus on uh, strengthening and deepening your connection to spirit. Um, and this can be something that's totally self-guided that you just come up with on your own. Maybe it's you know unplugged weekend where all your electronics get turned off and unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to the phone, you're not looking at the television, you're not taking time to look at all the past Psychic Funhouse shows for the moment. You're just kind of focusing on uh, connecting with spirit, creating an environment that allows you to retreat from your worldly responsibilities for a while. The other thing that's nice to do, if you can either afford it time wise or financially, is to go on a retreat. And
Yeah.
these can combine service as well as uh, your own feeding of your soul, depending on what kind of spiritual retreat you go
Mm-hmm.
on. And there are, again, innumerable different ways to make that spiritual retreat happen. A lot of the nice ones take you to a wonderful setting that's natural, uh, that allows you to make connections with nature and spirit that way. It's also great to be part of a group that's focused on doing the same thing. Even if it's a silent retreat, you're still getting support from other people that are around you that are pursuing the same or similar goals. So, um, making time to do an annual retreat or regular retreats, whatever your schedule and budget allows, can really be fortifying to your spiritual practice in really wonderful and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even unexpected ways. So, have you ever gone on a spiritual retreat
Mm-hmm.
of any kind, Adrian?
Not anything organized like that. I have unplugged, stayed at home unplugged from TV, internet, telephone. I've done that a few times. One of the things that I always wanted to do, haven't done yet, is one of the silent retreats. I think that would be wonderful.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to people who've done those for everything from a day to
Yeah.
days and days at a time. They're pretty powerful. My When I was graduating from high school, my dad took me to a place outside of Carmel Valley called Tassajara. It's a Zen center. If you heard of Tassajara before,
No.
it's a it's a Zen retreat center that's been around for several decades. Some people know about them because they have a couple really great cookbooks. One's on bread baking, the Tassajara way, and another one's on just different vegetarian recipes. But it's a spiritual retreat that you can stay at. It's way in the mountains. I think the Santa Lucia Mountains between Carmel Valley and where Big Sur starts, and it's really isolated. They have some um, hot springs there that are really nice to access. There's a stream year round.
Oh, yeah.
And they have communal eating, and you can get a cabin by yourself or share it with people. And man, I'll tell you, when my dad took me there, it was like it was amazing. It was like I didn't even really engage in what I would call any direct semblance of spiritual practice, but just being there was like a spiritual high. Just the energy that came to me was really transformative um, in a lot of different ways.
I'm
So
sure. I'm
powerful place.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't necessarily have to go somewhere. You can attend a spiritual retreat over Zoom. We have ways to take advantage of
Yeah.
different kinds of mentorship and education spiritually. And sometimes that can be what it is taking a class of some kind, or connecting with a talk or a lecture, or watching something or listening to something that's really supportive of your spiritual practice, and developing it or understanding it more. So um, don't have to be put off by the word retreat. It can actually be an advance into something, not a retreat from something. So, but but the idea is that you're
Yeah.
undergoing, you're giving yourself the gift of transforming your spiritual practice in some way, and ideally coming out of it stronger, more connected, and with a deeper understanding of what matters to you. So,
Yeah, it's and certainly kind of like what you were saying, the because of social media and the reach of the internet. I mean, wow, there's so much that's out there, and people in all parts of the world that offer, workshops or retreats. And all of that is valuable also because sometimes what happens is it gives you a different perspective on something. And, if you're opening up, uh, then it's certainly spiritual.
hmm, yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. Yeah. Um, so, what else? Well, creativity, I think, is a very important ingredient in anybody's spiritual practice. And creativity can come in a lot of different forms. I think one of the um, most engaging ways to apply creativity to your spiritual practice is to allow yourself time to make art and get creative that way. Um, there's a lot of preconceptions people are given about what art is, or what it can be, or even in a more confined sense what it should be. Um, but giving vent to that part of yourself that um, yearns to manifest something uh, on a deeper level can be incredibly um, fulfilling, as well as taking you to places that maybe you didn't know existed. One of the places that I used to work at, we had a person that would do spiritual portraits of people, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
uh, they have they had a really interesting way of combining their artistic abilities with what uh, what they saw in people, and giving them information that way. So it doesn't have to be something fully formed. It can be any kind of a creative act. You know, working with sand when you're at the beach, making candles. Infusing it with that extra level of spirituality and intention behind it can make it more meaningful, and help you help you find things out about yourself and your spiritual practice that you didn't know otherwise. It's it's kind of a non-linear approach, I
Yeah.
guess I would say. You know.
Yeah. And the thing that also crossed my mind was we're seeing a lot of this now. The sound baths,
Mm-hmm. Those are nice.
and they're certainly yeah, gaining popularity, becoming more popular, and that's another very pleasant experience that doesn't require previous experience per se. Just willingness to go and to open yourself. Just simply by being there and being with other like-minded people and relaxing and enjoying oneself. It's quite nice and uplifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Sound baths are great. Love them. So one of our audience members had
Yeah.
a question for us about wanting a psychic reading. Maybe this is a good time to shift a little bit and offer that to them. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. So Cassie's asking what her next 6 months are going to look like career-wise. If we have any information for her about that situation. So so let's see what comes up. We'll throw it into the hopper for Cassie. We need to have some Jeopardy like music playing.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. No, connecting. Coming up with something?
Yeah, well, I would first of all say hello to Cassie and tell her that she may experience there may be an opportunity for her uh, in within the next 3 months. I get the number three. Within the next 3 months, there could be an opportunity that comes her way, and so first of all, some of the highs and lows that she's experiencing at work are probably going to continue. Within the next 3 months, there could be another opportunity for her elsewhere at a different company. But I can tell you that what I see, let's see, this is May, so June, July, August. Yes, so I would say September until the rest of the year, things will peak. Things will peak at her present job. After a series of ups and downs, things will peak around the end of August and the beginning of September. There could very well be a new position, a new job, and a new company opening up. And what I see from September until the end of the year looks like very smooth sailing. So that's what I got. Looks
Okay.
like there's definitely going to be another opportunity coming. at least by the end of August. Um, and she just needs to, you know, not jump at the first opportunity, but to make sure that it's a good fit, that it feels right for her. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Anything else coming to you, or
No, that's it with in regards to work. Just that when the new position comes and after September, it feels like there's just, a change, like a change in events. And while I am not certain of all of what that means at this moment, it feels like from September until the end of the year at least, things look better, feel better for her, and she feels less stress. It's a less stressful, happier time for her.
hmm. Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay.
What
Very good.
about you?
Well, what was coming up for me, for Cassie, was that, I don't know if she has kind of a side hustle or side business or even a hobby that she likes to do. Um, but that now it would be a really good time for her to invest some of her time and energy, maybe even, some spare change if she's got it, into developing that side hustle into a business, maybe just a hobby business at this point. But I think it's going to be useful for her to have something to fall back on, that she could develop if she wanted to, if it looked like it was going to grow legs into something that would be more of financial support for her. So,
Hmm.
could be something she's already doing, that she could market more and, you know, eventually turn into something that could be part or even full time, or it could just be something that she's thought about doing, that she hasn't tried yet, but maybe people have mentioned to her, hey, this is something that you're really good at. Have you ever thought of, going into business for yourself or something like that? So there's some there's some skill set or aspect of her life that, I think has the potential to form a really kind of sweet spot where, it's a place for her to park some of her, creative energy, but also to get some support back from it. And it may end up being, not directly financial, but more of a bartering thing where there's trade for services or something like that. But um, I think this would be a good antidote to the frustration she may be experiencing in her career path, and an outlet for her to feel like she's contributing something that has meaning and, gives back to her community and also herself. So, something to consider there. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So there you go. Da-da-da-da.
good.
Yeah. Exactly. 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 Hopefully that was helpful, Cassie. Um, so, um, one of the other things I wanted to bring up about spiritual practice, getting back to that, uh, was uh, the idea of rituals,
Absolutely.
ritual practice. So, uh, rituals are something that we do all the time. We just have another term for them. We call them habits. but ritual is a really a focal point of your practice when you um, manifest energy into some level of physical form, so that you can see, feel, hear, smell. All of your senses can come into play to experience spirit in almost an embodied form. Some people help facilitate this by having a special place where they go to do ritual. A lot of people have it's called an altar, where they have offerings that they give to their spirit guides, um, different things that they draw inspiration from or get energy for. um, but the best rituals have some level of spontaneity in them, where maybe you create a framework, but you don't fill everything in so that you're just doing something out of rote, or because you memorized something that you saw, that you inject some of your own personal process into it, as much as possible. And again, this can be something that's as involved or as you know um, effervescent, evanescent. That's the word I'm looking for. Evanescent, as you like. Um, some people get together with other people. It's always more powerful when you have like-minded individuals crafting and sharing your ritual process, drawing power up, um, creating good works out of it. But it can also be something that's really private that you just do on your own, with just your spirits as a witness. Um, but again, like with everything we've been talking about, the first thing you want to get clear on is your intention. You want to ask yourself, why are you doing this? What's the purpose of this ritual? Is it to increase your wealth? Is it to, you know, increase your love life? Is it to make a deeper connection to spirit? Is it to, you know, make rain happen, or create protection? You know, what's the what's the outcome that you want to envision happening because of the ritual that you're doing, right? And so holding that vision during the ritual process can help it manifest more clearly, and also can help you stay on track when you're doing the ritual process. Drawing power up can be distracting. It can be, really energizing, but it can also, be challenging to maintain a focus and stay grounded while you're in the middle of doing your ritual. So, starting with a clear intention, and out of that, creating your vision can help you map out your process, and it can bring to your attention when you've gone off into a non-productive aspect of things. Or it can also help you say, okay, well, this was the plan that I had for this ritual, but this whole other thing has come up that's superseding it, and I really want to give voice to that. So I'm gonna allow that energy to come into the ritual now too. So being flexible is also helpful with rituals. Do you find rituals to be a part of your spiritual practice, Adrian?
Well, yes, yes. They're very very subtle, but I feel comfortable in saying it's part of my rituals. I like to burn incense. I like to light candles. A lot of times when I am going into a session, for me, it's about clearing the space, clearing the energy, and connection. So I will do that. I will, and it really, it kind of depends. on what kind of work I might be doing, if I'm doing tarot oracle card readings, or in preparation for mediumship. Sometimes it's the same, but I will, I like to, like I said, burn candles, burn incense. Sometimes I use sage. That just kind of depends. But I will walk around the interior of my home and, offer up prayer and request for protection or guidance or whatever it might be at the time. And I walk through the rest of the house, and I will also cleanse and smudge or pray over my dogs as well.
Mm.
And yeah, and then and then I'll go into my office, and begin a process of grounding and connecting with the spirits, the spirit guides, and all those that I work with. And sometimes that's, just in terms of like quiet communication. Sometimes I'm also using some of my quartz crystals, and but it's a variation of those things, and that's about it as far as my rituals are concerned. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of altars. I don't really have one. I kind of do, but it's not terribly elaborate. But I love the idea of altars and and using them. I just think it's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you may not feel like you have a lot of ritual activity in your practice, but you said a lot of really great things there, Adrian, that I think are worth
Sure.
augmenting, picking up on. Uh, Smudging, I particularly like smudging. You're working with incense. That's a really important part of most of my shamanic practices is to smudge. Some people can't tolerate smoke, so there's other ways to smudge. Sometimes I'll just have a handful of herb with me that I'll kind of crush up a little bit in my hands and sprinkle around myself or the people that are participating in the ritual.
It's
Uh,
nice. Yeah.
rub on myself.
Nice.
Salt also works. Salt's a very protective, cleansing substance you can incorporate into your rituals. Candles are great. One of the rituals that I have is every spring I try to witness and get impacted by one of the first flowering native plants out here. That's a really lovely
Oh,
diminutive little tree called osoberry, uh, and it's one of the first things to leaf out after winter. So it's this really bright kind of Kelly green
nice.
that shows up, and then shortly thereafter, it sends out a sprig of white flowers, and then it makes a little edible but not incredible, as we say, kind of plum. It's also called Indian plum. It's peach-colored fruit,
Oh,
thin skin.
nice.
Yeah, and the if I'm open to it, the leaves taste a little bit like a cucumber rind, so you can nibble on them as well. Um, the other plant-based ritual I find myself doing every year is nibbling on the Oregon grape flowers that show up early in the spring. Oregon grape's the state flower up here, and it makes little tart, very tart grapes towards the middle of the summer usually. But it sends up this really beautiful spray of bright yellow flowers that are really um, sweet, sour, and bitter all at the same time, and they kind of stimulate your liver after a winter of questionable food choices. It's nice to, I just literally just kind of bend over and take a little chew off of participating Oregon grape plant like a goat, and it's a way to remind my body that, oh yeah, okay, spring is happening, winter's starting to go away, the sun's coming back. It is going to dry up and warm up here eventually, and just to kind of get re-embodied, wake up the
Yeah.
senses. So, there's just so many different ways to,
Nice.
yeah, to invite a ritual into your spiritual practice. That could be a whole topic of discussion itself. So, um,
True enough.
but yeah, and I
Nice.
think we're getting close to the end of the show here, but uh, you know, uh, basically the way the way to deepen your spiritual practice is just to be aware of spirit to begin with, and practice opportunities for connection and kindness as much as possible. Being aware, you know, sometimes sometimes the best thing you can do in a situation is maybe not to participate yourself directly for whatever reason, but to not turn away from what's happening and to bear witness, right? So that you can be the
Yeah.
living the living memory of something that is impactful, and that you may end up sharing with others somewhere down your spiritual journey. Um,
Yeah.
so hopefully some of these ideas were helpful, and they contributed to some thoughts you might have about crafting or deepening your connection to spirit through different means or mechanisms. If you have any ideas, feel free to share them with us in our chat group, or send us a message about them. If you have a favorite way to connect with spirit, we'd like to hear about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we are at the end of the show, so I think this is a good time to remind people how to connect with us. So, Adrian, what's your contact info?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see here. So my website, ravenmessages.com, full of information about my services, my fees, additional contact information. I'm also on Facebook. I have a business page there. And I'm going to plug the Raven Messages jewelry page as well, because this is some very nice high-end gemstone jewelry that's Reiki infused, and nice
Nice,
pieces. Contact me if you are interested. So, yeah.
lovely.
How about you, Lawrence?
Well, I was going to ask also, do you have any events coming up that you'd like to share with
Oh,
the audience they may want to participate in?
yeah. Yeah, this weekend. God, I keep wanting it to be this weekend. It's the 31st, the last Saturday of the month,
Hmm.
at the OC Heart Space Holistic Fair in Laguna Woods. It's, oh boy,
Oh,
here we
yeah.
go.
Sounds like sounds like your female companions are excited about it.
All right, shh, hush, shh, sorry.
Almost embarrassing me here.
Hey, German, shh, German. Thank you. Thank you. Shiz. Yes. Laguna Woods Heart Space Healing Center, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be there doing readings. There's some free activities. There's all kinds of people doing all kinds of things. Hope you'll come by.
Lovely. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so great. And if you're interested in getting a reading or healing or hooking up with some quality herbalism and herbal products, handmade by yours truly, please contact me at 541 344 7534. You can text me, you can call me regular hours. My email is givingtree@earthlink.net and my webpage, givingtreefarm.com, with all the latest info and what's happening in my neck of the woods. So that is what is going on.
Yeah.
Well, uh, once again, we come to the end of another show. So thank you again for being part of it. Everybody out there in the Psychic Funhouse land, I want to thank my lovely guests, the incredible, the amazing, the one of a kind, Adrian Stratton and her canine chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the kids got to participate tonight.
yeah, they did. They definitely did. They, they made their presence known, which is good.
Thank you, Lawrence. Good show.
Well, good. Yeah, glad you liked it. And of course, thanks to all of our wonderful audience members out there. Great comments in the chat room. Shout out to Cassie for her great question. Hopefully, the reading will help clarify some things for her. Glad she can be part of the
Yeah.
show. It's nice to have her come back regularly. We appreciate that. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Working out your new practices with your spirituality. Let us know what that's like. And we'd love to hear from you. Please come back again. We're here every week, uh, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Psychic Funhouse. So thanks again for all your
And tell a
support.
friend.
Yeah, please do. Spread the word. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye for now.
Bye.